morning, good afternoon, everyone, wherever you're watching us from. I'm Comfort Eyitayo, your regular host for Connect with Comfort Show. On this program, we aim to add value to people and business enterprise as well as personal growth. Each show is organized to feature guests who are subject matter experts that will throw more insight on the topic of the day. I am glad you are able to join us today. You are most welcome. Our topic today is an interesting one, and it's as interesting as it sounds. That is entrepreneurs to the rescue. That means entrepreneur come to our rescue. Today we are here to celebrate the pivotal role that entrepreneurs play in revitalizing economies, creating jobs, and driving innovation, especially in these challenging times. The world around us, as we all know, is undergoing rapid transformation. Economies are being redefined by shifting dynamics from technological advancements to socio-political upheavals. In the midst of these uncertainties, it is entrepreneurs who step forward with bold ideas, transforming challenges into opportunities and obstacles into pathways for growth. Entrepreneurs are more than just business people. They are problem solvers, community builders, and change makers. They rescue not just failing industries, but also the hopes and aspirations of countless individuals. Whether it's through providing innovative solutions, creating employment, or fostering resilience in local economies, entrepreneurs are at the heart of rebuilding and reimagining our collective future. So today, we will explore how entrepreneurship can serve as a beacon of hope in these challenging times that looks like everything is in the dark and people are wondering what else would happen or what to do. Every big change starts with a small idea, and a courageous individual willing to see it through are those we call entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are the lifeblood of that change. The call is clear, and that's why we said entrepreneurs to the rescue. We are in problem, we are in dire need, entrepreneurs come to our rescue. So we already have our guest in the house to help us look more deeply into this and share insight with us on how entrepreneurs can come to our rescue. This and much more we will do after a very short break. Please remain connected. We'll be right back. Thank you. Welcome back. Our special guest for today, like I said, is already in the house, and she's no other than Kelechi Ibe. Kelechi Ibe has experience spanning government, civil society, and private sector. She has held several positions, including Special Assistant on Documentation and Policy Coordination to the President of Nigeria, Special Assistant to Social Development to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, and also as a speechwriter at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Office of the Senate President, respectively. She has been a Nigerian youth representative to numerous United Nations, European Union, and Commonwealth conferences addressing migration, sustainable development, and economic transformation. As Executive Director at Social Transformation Empowerment and Programs Center, STEP C, she worked to build institutions and systems that help in the propagation, promotion, and defense of justice and human happiness, especially of youth and women. Kelechi holds a senior executive fellow certificate from Harvard Kennedy School of Government, a certificate on global and regional migration governance from University of Geneva, Switzerland, as well as other certificates from St. Francis College Center for Entrepreneurship, New York City, and the Lagos Business School, among others. She holds a master's degree in conflict resolution from the McCormack School of Policy and Global Studies, University of Massachusetts, Boston, USA, and a bachelor degree in banking and finance from Abia State University, Ituru, Nigeria. You will agree with me that we have a well-loaded all-rounder guest in the house. It is my pleasure to welcome to Connect with Comfort show today, Kelechi Ibe. Please jam your hand with me to make her welcome. Welcome, Kelechi. I'm
Thank you.
glad to have you, and we are indeed very proud of your various achievements.
Thank you for having me, and I'm glad to be at this very important show. Thank you.
Thank you. So without taking too much time, we'll go straight into the interview segment for us to be able to tap from your very rich experience. So regarding this topic, entrepreneurs to the rescue, what specific challenges in the economy are entrepreneurs uniquely positioned to address?
Thank you for that very important question. I think that entrepreneurs generally are very important for the competitiveness of the global economy as a whole. And for speaking as a Nigerian, I think that job creation is can never be overemphasized. I think that entrepreneurs are very important to help close the gap or bridge the gap in terms of job creation. And I say this because Nigeria, for instance, is a certificate-driven economy. And so that you find out that most times young people are, if you like to use the word, limited by their certificate, and so that they are not made to think outside the box. But whether we like it or not, the country or the economy does not have enough jobs to absorb our youth. And so entrepreneurship education cannot be overemphasized. And because as it helps to reduce unemployment, of course, it helps to boost the economic growth by introducing innovative technologies, products and services that, accelerate structural change. So, and of course, by accelerating structural changes, it helps to also replace established stagnant organization, if you like to use that word, because you have a lot of organizations that are not necessarily doing what they're supposed to do. But if we have entrepreneurs, they would help to actually boost those organizations and get them to work as expected. Thank you.
Fantastic. You've actually, with one bullet, killed 3 of the questions I have in that segment. No doubt from your answer why we say entrepreneurs would come to rescue. You really pointed out they're job creators, they bridge the gap, they help ailing and stagnant economy and all that. Thank you very, very much. So beyond profit making, what roles do entrepreneurs play in fostering social development?
I think there are countless number of roles that entrepreneurs can play beyond profit making. I don't also agree with the fact that most times people just think that entrepreneurs are designed or they're made just for profit making. I think that entrepreneurs are very, most entrepreneurs to begin with, you would usually begin in their local communities, right? And so that their products and services are used to serve their local communities. In terms of skill sets, they help, train people locally. And usually when people have the right skill sets, that can also lead to financial freedom, if you agree with me. The entrepreneurs also, help also to provide basic needs in terms of clean water education. And how do I mean by that? When we have entrepreneurs partner with the government, for instance, they can help to provide these basic needs, because in local communities like where I come from, for instance, there are places where people still struggle to have clean water. But when you have entrepreneurs who go in there and they set up, then they are able to do that. But of course, they can't do that without the help of the government most times. So, they help to provide basic needs like clean water, education. That would in turn increase, of course, local businesses, right? And bring positive change to the communities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So they help address pressing societal issues, because we are talking of water. Those are part of the pressing societal issues. And then through they help to eradicate or limit unemployment and take care of healthcare, all that. Thank you very much. So, what are the potential ethical considerations or trade-offs for entrepreneurs operating in underdeveloped or crisis-prone regions?
There are numerous ethnic considerations, but we want to look at fairness, equality, favoritism, sometimes discrimination, because most times, people are discriminated upon based on ethnic considerations. It's the hard truth, but we have to say it. And most of the time, we also have entrepreneurs who set up, but they don't have the right they invade on data privacy is actually also an issue where people speak of the curve and they don't want you to use it, but sometimes these entrepreneurs actually would want to use those information with the names of those who have provided those informations to them. So there are a whole lot of it. And honesty, sometimes funds that are actually supposed to be for communities are being diverted for personal gains. Sometimes it's also, like I said, is the hard truth, but we have to say it. And a host of others.
That one is a big song in terms of ethical practice because it's erode trust from those who are willing to help. Because if you divert funds meant to assist people for personal use, and this gets discovered, then it will discourage those who are likely to give out help or to support people that are in their need. So that's a major one.
And I mean, I would like to jump in if you permit me there, because
Sure.
that's why we have what is called like the donor baskets right now, where you have international funding organizations not wanting to fund young NGOs, not-for-profit organizations, because they're not sure of if they're going to use the monies properly for the project. So that what they do is they get to lump them, you group them, it's called donor funds. They have maybe 5 or 10 different organizations who share the same ideals or values, and then they put in the money there just to make sure that we're working together, and it's very disturbing, honestly.
But that's true. That's true. So it's unfortunate, but like you said, the truth must be told. I hope those who are in that habit will desist from doing that because then it rubs off on those who have genuine intention to do the right thing. Okay, so it is what it is. We really can avoid some of the bad eggs in society. So when we talk of policies and support structure, what policies or infrastructure do you consider necessary to enable entrepreneurs to thrive and contribute meaningfully?
Well, I mean, there are quite a number of them. Um, one of which is public-private partnership. I think that is important that the government begins to understand the importance of the society and try to partner with them, because that can only make for more effective change. If you partner with the government, it helps to, it helps for a more effective and robust contribution in society generally. I think that that's very important. I think that, I mean, because we've had situations where uh, communities reject some kind of change from the change that they need from entrepreneurs. So I think that is also important that the local communities would, be open towards the kind of changes that can come in, and that's the only way it can be more effective. For me, it's more the public-private partnership. It's very important that the government should partner with entrepreneurs to make sure that we grow our economy.
So it's good to have public-private partnership, which we normally call PPP, that will help in the collaborative initiative
Yes.
to help further the or deepen the infrastructural need for entrepreneurs. That's very true. So, what common barriers do you envisage entrepreneurs to face when trying to implement large scale solutions? And how can this be mitigated?
Um, well, common barriers most of the time will be, for instance, funding. Most times entrepreneurs will funding. But again, like I said, it's important that there's public-private partnership and governments. I know that we had programs like that where we had the during Jonathan, where if you have a good innovative idea as an entrepreneur, the government will give you some seed funding and you can go ahead and deliver on your projects. So that for me cannot be overemphasized. We need to have programs from the government that encourage entrepreneurial development, because of course at the end of the day, it's for the good of the economy and for the people as well. So I think that for me that's the most important, that the government should partner with entrepreneurs. So public-private partnership is very important, to bridge the gap of funding. And then sometimes I also say to people that when you thinking about entrepreneurial development, it's not just monetary terms. I think that entrepreneurs are not just built to make money, but they're built to effect change in the society. And so for that reason, I don't think it's out of place for you to also use your seed money or your personal money, if you like to say, to start up the entrepreneurial or start up your business, right? Or to drive change. If you have it, you can also look in terms of borrowing from maybe your family. I know that there are also some financial institutions and some kind of banks that can give small loans to start up small businesses. So people can also begin to look in terms of, accessing those funds, just to start up, so that funding should not be a barrier to wanting to effect change in the society. Another mistake I would say sometimes entrepreneurs would make is when people start up their businesses and they have a well-paying job, they tend to also want to shut down or resign from the job. I don't think that people should resign from the job because you're starting up a business. I think that when you start up your business, you must make sure that that business is sustainable before you can resign from your job, right? And before you can resign from a job and decide to say, okay, you know what, I want to take up this business as a full-time innovation or business.
I understand what you're saying. The transition period should be well managed because you have to see the viability of the business before you give the known off to the unknown so that you're not left dry. That's very true. That's very true. And then when we are talking of implementing large scale solutions, sometimes it may be necessary for you to start small and scale up gradually than just get blown up almost immediately and without having all the necessary infrastructure to back it up, or the funding, like you said, to back it up. So those can also cause barriers for entrepreneurs.
Most times, I think that to jump in right there, most entrepreneurs are fond of wanting to start up and just blow up.
Big.
I like to use the word, but it's
Yeah.
one time. You have to do proper visibility study and make sure that whatever
Mhm.
business you're starting up is sustainable. You have to look at market trends. Have to look at
Yeah.
competition. You have to set goals for yourself, proper data management. Then you must also be willing to hire people who share the same passion as you, because that's the only way
Mm.
to drive the change that is necessary um, for your innovation. And so many other things, basically.
Thank you very much. So it's even a good point to ask this question. We are talking of sustainability of the business that we choose to go into. How
Right.
can entrepreneurs leverage technology and innovation to provide sustainable solutions to global challenges?
Oh, that's like limitless. For instance, let's take for instance what is going on with the power, solar power, in the country. Um, Before now, it was it was almost like a no no no, but now there's solar everywhere, and it's less expensive. Gas emission is actually being checked, and so many other things. I think that it's very important that entrepreneurs look in terms of the innovative innovations, right, to foster whatever they're doing. If you also look in terms of the farmers. Before now, we had just pure mechanized farming, but with the introduction of drones, um, tech, um, sophisticated innovations, right? It's for the farmers. I think that they're being more productive because then spend less time in trying to access their farms, and they are more productive because they have a whole lot more in terms of access to the database and you know, basically access to doing the things that they would generally spend more time and days or more human power or manpower rather to deliver. And so I think that innovation is very, very important, and that people, aspiring entrepreneurs or people who are already entrepreneurs, should embrace it completely.
Okay, so we need to innovate to be able to not only survive, to also thrive, because there's always the need to to look at different ways of doing the same thing, and then moving forward following the trend. Thank you very much. Now we're talking about skills that entrepreneurs should have. So what skills or mindset do entrepreneurs need to have to become effective problem solver? Because that was part of the definition we gave to them.
I think that personally, I would say that the most important skill for an entrepreneur is to have the passion to do new things. You know, you have the passion to drive change, the passion to be the best. And that, you know, always have it at the back of your mind as an entrepreneur that money is not the key reason to be an entrepreneur. It's just a tool, right? You need to hire the right people. You need to learn to delegate and manage your time as an entrepreneur. You need to focus on your strong points. Forget about what, you know, just leave behind the things you don't know how to do and keep pursuing innovations. I think that's critical for an entrepreneur to be successful, you know. And in terms of looking at also core skills, I think that it's important, right, to build a team that shares the same passion as you. You don't want to hire people who have all the right qualifications, for instance, but they are not passionate about the innovation you're about to bring. So it's important that you have the right team who share the same passion, because that's the only way that they can put in their best, and they can effect change in whatever way you're looking at doing it. Yeah, it's important to also, I think that as an entrepreneur, that's where people feel sometimes to understand that it's important to also know your competitors, you know, your competition, know the market, right? Because it's only when you know the market, then you're able to navigate it better. You have to know your competitors. And time management is also of the essence here, because most times entrepreneurs most times feel like they have all the time in the world, and if you don't manage your time effectively, then you can't be an effective innovator. Time management, and I think that, you know, you don't leave the job on, you know, financially stable when you start. Make sure that you put in all that you have and just bring like minds together, basically.
Thank you very much. I was just going to ask the media to bring up, there's a contribution that just flashed from one of our online audience, Tunde Akala. Can you please bring up that contribution so that we can share from Tunde Akala? Starting with entrepreneurs struggle or something like that. Media? Okay. We wait until they're able to feature that. Just I want us to get the benefit of that contribution. Thank you very much for your response. So how can an aspiring entrepreneurs identify opportunities to rescue, like we said, specific sectors or communities? How do those aspiring entrepreneurs how would they be able to identify opportunities to rescue specific sectors of community?
Okay, thank you for that question. I think that, like I said, the social media, for instance, is very, very critical to be your friend as an entrepreneur, because there are lots of information out there. And so that you also don't want to be providing solutions for communities that need your exact solution. So it's for you to do a visibility study. You need to go out. You want to provide solution. You need to go and know the people and make sure that the solution you're looking to is actually needed by them. You can ask questions. Mentorship is also critical here. You can look in terms of mentorship programs. I mean, one of the people that I admire so much in the industry would be the likes of Tara Duritoye, for instance, who went on to study law in school, and then she, as far as we're concerned, she's one of the biggest names in the makeup industry in Nigeria today. And so you can begin to also try to talk to people like that, people who have made change, or people who are successful entrepreneurs in quotes, and understudy them, talk to them, make friends with them, and make sure that you provide solutions to communities that really need them. Talk to your community heads. Like, that's what I do sometimes when I don't just go to community, I go to the community heads. I talk to the heads, I talk to the individuals in the community to also make sure that that change is what they desire. And then that's pretty much talk to as much people as possible and make sure that you're giving help where it is really needed.
Thank you very much. Can you say all entrepreneurs are equally equipped to handle crisis, or do some require specialized training and resources?
That's a very tricky question, I would say, because for me, it's not a yes or no question. I think that most entrepreneurs are equipped to handle crisis. If you can think it, then you can do it. That's what I think. However, there are some crises or some situations that you need, or that requires more high-level skills to do. And so that if you need help, I think that is not wrong with getting it. It's either you go and learn it personally, or you can, if you can afford it, then hire somebody who knows about that to come and do it. You don't have to do what you don't know what to do. But I think that for me, the first step is to be passionate about what it is you want to do, and that takes care of every other thing. So it's not a yes or no question.
I understand, and I think it's even well related to the question asked by our online audience, and it's on the screen. It's saying entrepreneurs are struggling with the economic challenges of the country, to the extent that majority are packing up to travel abroad to a better environment. How can those of us remaining survive?
Well, I mean, that's a very good question. That's a very interesting question. I've been privileged to travel out of the country a couple of times. I think that the way to go is not to run away, because even when you run away, the problem remains. Nigeria is ours, and we need to fix it. And the ability to fix our country, or to drive change, is the ability for us to identify the problems and start to do it one step at a time. There are so many funding opportunities out there that we can tap from. There are so many that I know about, for so many funding opportunities you can tap from. Like I said, little drops of water. It's not, sometimes we want to start and we'll start big. You can't, it becomes very difficult when you want to start big and then you don't have the capacity to drive that change. So for me, I say just start small, one step at a time. Look for all the opportunities that are available to you. Look inwards in the government, look inwards in terms of there are civil society organizations that give small grants, small funds. There are private institutions like banks that do what is called corporate social responsibility. And so there are funds, little funds that are given to small startups. So just do your research as much as you can, and for me, as long as you're passionate about it, I think you can make the change happen. Traveling out is not a solution. It's good to travel if you want to, but it's not. I don't think there's a solution anywhere in the world. We are the people who can bring solutions to our problems or challenges, if you like.
Very true. Very true. I'm sure our audience, Tunde Akala, is listening. Do not be distraught and do not be discouraged. The Jackpot syndrome is there, but like our guests have told us, it's not the solution. If we all choose to Jackpot, who is going to save our dear nation, Nigeria? That's our own. So some people still have to stay back to salvage whatever is left. In that too, there will be opportunities because we just look at problem as problem, but within the lining of problems, you have opportunities. You just need to find a way of identifying these opportunities. When you are solution oriented, then you'll be able to see the opportunities that lies even in the face of the problem. I know things are hard. We are all complaining, but let us have the entrepreneurial. I mean, by definition, what we are as entrepreneur is not just to give in easily. We are very resilient and we are passionate. As long as what you are doing is what you are passionate about, you have the interest to continue to push on, and hopefully, not too long a distance future, you'll be able to strike your goal. So please keep doing it, keep at it, and the success will come your way. We'll go on a very short break now and we'll be right back. Please remain connected. Welcome back. How can entrepreneurs scale their initiatives to benefit larger population or regions?
Okay, that's I mean, there's several ways, but I think I want to talk a little bit about the Jackpot syndrome that you had said.
Okay, sure.
I was privileged to one of the projects I worked on was immigration and migration issues, and people just don't tell you the truth. Jackpot is good. Migration in itself is very good as long as it's safe and orderly. But for the most part, people who come, Jackpot, people who migrate or leave out of frustration are even met with more frustrations when they travel outside the country. I'll share a story for you. At one time, I was in New York. I had this medical doctor. A medical doctor in Nigeria is supposed to be doing very well, who was stranded. He was homeless, right? And because he could not afford to pay for accommodation here in New York, and he didn't have the right job because certification is Nigeria, so take all the exams in Nigeria, in the US, for instance, integrated into the system. So what was he doing? Working as a security guard, and at some point homeless. So for me, if you want to leave the country, you need to something you have to think about properly and make sure that you're doing it for the right cause, not because you're frustrated. You don't have monies on the trees in America waiting for anyone to tap into it. Be patient as an entrepreneur. Patience is key. Once you're patient, I think that the sky will be the point. So going into the question that you asked, I think I highlighted it before. know your competition, right? Develop your networking strategies, have an updated social media channel as an entrepreneur. That's very critical, and basically just find the right communities for your innovation. Find the right community for your innovation and be patient about it. And before you know what is happening, the change that you require would just happen. You won't even know how it happens. Be positive, be passionate. That's what it takes to be an entrepreneur. And I think I can go on and on, but these are very important and key.
Thank you very much. I will just add the endorsement from one of our audience that says, yes, parking and traveling is not the best. This program, okay, see, media, can you bring it back again? The contribution from Taiwo Ojo, media. Okay, let's hope they bring it back. It's just like um, endorsing what we are talking about. We just have to be patient. It will work out. It may seem tough at the moment, but things will work out eventually. And like our guest said, when we were growing up, you always believe, oh, when you hear London, you think the streets of London is covered with gold. You have golden streets. So the first time I set my foot in London in 1976, I looked back and said, I want to go home.
Not reality.
That's reality check. So the grass, like they say, is always greener on the other side. But let's just be patient and give it all it takes. We have great opportunities in this country, I tell you, and then we just need to work at it. Thank you very much. Okay, before media oblige us with Taiwo Ujo's contribution, I would like to ask, how can entrepreneurs ensure that their solutions have lasting impacts rather than short-term fixes?
Okay, so basically, you must do checks and balances when you have a project. When you're offering a solution, you must make sure that at the end of the day, you reach out to the people and ask them how effective the solutions are. That's very important because that would only help you re-strategize and do better if you're not already. So you must reach out to the people to make sure that whatever solution you're preferring is effective. So it's something that's very physical. You do a feasibility study, then afterwards you need to make sure that you have, you design a plan. You have a plan for your project, and so that you make sure that you have maybe quarterly checks on how that you're doing in the market, in terms of providing solutions. And yeah, so if you're supposed to scale up or just be where you're at.
Okay. So, what metrics would you say one can use to evaluate the success of entrepreneurial intervention in societal or economic challenges? The metrics.
I mean, there are several metrics. One of which is if you're sorry, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but the video is off.
Oh no.
Okay, while our guests try to fix that, the contribution from Taiwo Ojo is yes, parking and traveling is not the best. The program COE should be shared with them. I'm gaining and applying what I learned and still in business. Thank God for that. That's the desire. We thank God that is helping some people, and we hope we'll be able to help more people. Thank you very much, Taiwo Ojo, for that great contribution and encouraging words. And I want to apply it to others that we should not be discouraged. Things are tough, but like they say, when things are tough, tough people get going. And winners never quit, neither do quitters win. So just continue at it. We hope we'll get our guest back. I think the network has thrown her out. So I hope she come back quickly. Okay, so we do not, in order not to have a gap, I will take part of the recap before she comes back. We're almost at the end of the questions for her anyway. But I hope she comes back so that we can appreciate her. She's done very well. In the meantime, let me seize the opportunity to appreciate those who have joined us today, our regulars that have joined us today, starting from um, Mrs. Wendy Garuba Ayeni, streaming from Lagos, and Taiwo Ojo, who has also contributed, streaming from Abuja, Tunde Akala, who has also contributed, streaming from Ogun State. Thank you very much for your constant followership, and I pray that the program achieves the aim it sets out to achieve in terms of adding value to you personally and to your business. So, like I said, before our guest comes back, hopefully she will come back, I will just start the wrap up session so that we don't lose too much time. We gave the appropriate definition to entrepreneur, and from that definition too, you can actually situate what we are meant to be and what we are meant to do. That we are problem solvers. So when problem comes, we don't run from problems. We face it headlong and find solution. We should be determined to find solution to actually uh, end that apparent that we are problem solver. We should also innovate, and then with innovation we will be able to remain as job creators and contributors to the economy. We also need to continue to do our bit to drive the economic growth. Okay, our guest is back. Welcome back, Kelechi. We are just
Thank
at
you.
the we are just at the last question, that we were talking of metrics that can be used to evaluate the success of entrepreneurial intervention in societal or economic challenges.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Did you hear the question again?
Sorry, no, I didn't quite
I,
hear
I,
it.
I was just asking before the network issue that what metrics can be used to evaluate the success of entrepreneurial intervention in societal or economic challenges, the metrics that we can use to measure the success.
So basically, I think that, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
So basically, I think that we should focus on innovation and the risk, right? To make the entrepreneurial grasp new ideas of what, or create something that is different. So it's innovation versus the risk. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Continue. Continue. Hello. Well, um, the network chose the right time to disrupt this, but we will go on with the wrap up section. We are almost through. Like I said, that was the last question for Kelechi. So um, if we're able to take it, fine. If not, we just round up with the wrap up section. The wrap up section continues, and I was just saying we have to be resilient in crisis situation, which is in line with what we said, that we don't run from problem, we face it headlong and find a way of resolving it. And then we also must aim to create social impact. Social impact like contributing to education, community development, and also gender equality. So we know we have challenges that face us as entrepreneurs, such as limited funding, resources, regulatory barriers, and we must think out of the box on how to uh, overcome all these challenges, including capacity building. Good enough that we are in the technology era that we can have so many free tutorials on the net that we can use to bridge the gap. And then we must remember to network with fellow entrepreneurs, because sometimes most of the problem we come across had been solved by some people in the past. So we don't need to reinvent the wheel. And any opportunity we have to speak to the policymakers, we need to encourage them to create conducive environment through supportive regulations and maybe tax incentives, as well as good infrastructure, which includes power, because that is the major problem we have in our climate. So we must find a way of expanding access to funding, because that is the only way we can scale up, especially for the small startup businesses. Because once you have gotten grounded on the business you have started up, you want to grow, you want to scale up. So you need funding, you need additional hands. So we need to know how to hire the right type of people. And in closing, we look at entrepreneurs as heroes. That's why we said they come to the rescue of the future. So we can play a big role in rebuilding and advancing our economies, our society. We should see ourselves as playing that role to help turn around things for us in our nation. We must encourage ourselves by acknowledging the much we have done, our courage, our resilience, and daring to set up business in these challenging times. We must encourage and pat ourselves in the back. At least the small wins, we must praise ourselves, so that we can be more encouraged to do more. So we must continue to support each other. As okay, um, Kelechi, welcome back. I know it's the
I'm sorry.
network, but thank God the network. No, no problem. It's something we all know. But we thank God that we even taken all the questions before the network struck. So maybe I will just ask you for one minute, if you can give us your parting shot on this topic.
So I mean, as I don't know if I can quickly talk about the metrics. Basically, look in terms of your financial performance, your resilience, innovation, the community, the impact you're making on the community. It's very important. You have to look in terms of the total customer satisfaction, and then your ongoing developmental processes. So, as an entrepreneur, I say to people, be the change you want to see, be positive about it, and just be you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You've done wonderfully well. Like I said, when the network struck, I said, shame to the network. It did not realize that we really gotten a lot of benefit from you You've really done well. You've shared a lot of insight into the topic, and we appreciate you highly. Thank you very much. And I hope next time we come calling, you will not consider us Oliver and you oblige us to share your wealth of knowledge again.
Thank you. Can you hear me? I don't know. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Such an interesting time with you. I'm happy to be part of this process. Thank you and have a blessed day.
Thank you, and you. God bless you. So we are just rounding up now. So as we conclude, the phrase entrepreneurs to the rescue is more than a call to action. It is a reminder of the indomitable human spirit. Whether it is through job creation, innovation, or addressing societal challenges, entrepreneurs are vital to driving economic recovery and sustainable growth. So tell yourself you are important to this nation's recovery. Whatever problem we think we are having now, you are part of the solution provider. However, the journey is not ours alone, that is not entrepreneurs alone. Government, financial institutions, educators, and every stakeholders in society must play their part in fostering an environment where entrepreneurship will thrive. To all entrepreneurs, I encourage you to keep pushing the boundaries. Let your courage and creativity inspire others to rise. To those aspiring to join the ranks, that is, those who are still thinking, should I join the entrepreneurship train? Remember that every great venture starts with a simple step, powered by a dream and the determination to make it real. On that note, I want to appreciate all of you that have joined us today on this show. I'd like to once again appreciate our guest, Kelechi Ibe, for sparing time to connect with us. All of you, I appreciate you for this enlightening session on entrepreneurs come to the rescue. I hope you have enjoyed today's episode. If so, please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Comfort Eyitayo. Once you have subscribed, please turn on the notification button, like and share our videos. Stay updated with information about upcoming events, solutions, and offers on my Instagram account at Comfort Eyitayo, as well as my Facebook at Comfort Eyitayo. Till I come your way again, let's foster a world where innovation, resilience, rescue not just economies but lives and communities. Thank you very much and God bless.